Okay guys, so we're here for the top 5 mistakes when using keto test strips. If that's why you've tuned in, don't go away. Okay guys, so when you do your urinalysis, we understand that we're looking for ketone bodies. We want to find evidence of that fantastic, clean, stable, efficient energy molecule. So when it comes down to this on the diet, it's essential to understand that if anything you've eaten or if you're still on track to burning loads of fat because you're in ketosis. So guys, without any further ado, let's have a look at number 1. So testing straight after eating. So food can temporarily change your results, especially carbs, protein or sweeteners. So the best practice here guys, wait at least 2 to 3 hours after eating before testing for more accurate results. Now, you have to understand that, yes, you get better results when you've actually digested the food and certain things aren't just hitting your body immediately. It takes time to actually show, because what happens is obviously you're going to have that coming up, but you really want to read it while it's hitting your body, and so you can understand that, yes, this is telling me that I've got too much sugar perhaps, or I've had too much milk in my tea. Something's occurred to knock your ketones and slow the ketone production down. Now, urinalysis strips look at acetoacetate, and that's the ketone that they're telling you. Now, acetoacetate is the first precursor for your ketone bodies. Now, with acetone acetate, you've made that from the fatty acids, and then what happens is it changes, and you have a byproduct as well, which is another ketone called acetone, and also at the same time you have beta hydroxybutyrate, and that's BHB. That's actually the main one in your blood, while acetone is in your breath. So all of these ketones are being produced, and this is what's it's going to do. It's going to tell you accurately once you've actually processed them all through your system, and then you've had time to hit and then impact on the number of actual ketones there. So rather than getting a kind of skewed or false reading by testing too quickly, you wait until the process has been done after eating that food. Number 2 guys, you can see here you're testing when you're dehydrated. So what's the main idea here? When you haven't had enough water, as you know, water is the main solvent in your body, so it's going to be holding all those chemicals. So it's the solute is going to be in your solvent and going around your body. It's vital. It does loads of things in your body. It conveys all your stuff, in your whole blood. It's very important, nutrient. When it comes down to it, if you're dehydrated, what happens? Well, that means just like anything. If you have a good analogy is like a squash, or dilute drink, as we call it in the UK, a dilute orange. You have that, you add more water, and then you've got your perfect drink. If you concentrate it by adding less water, then you've got more of that orange flavor with water, making it stronger and more powerful. And that's the same with your ketone readings. So you really want to be in just a normal kind of light yellow looking urine, so that way it's basically showing that you're hydrated enough, and then it's not going to give you a skewed, more powerful ketone reading. Now, as you can see here in the picture, concentrated urine can make ketones look higher than they really are. Best practice, drink plenty of water throughout the day and test when you're well hydrated for the most accurate results. Now, why does it matter? So you can see here clearly why it matters. You can see dehydration concentrates your urine, which can lead to falsely higher ketone readings. That's also the inverse, guys. If you drink too much water, so drink just a good amount of water, a light yellow color urine should be sufficient. If it starts getting really dark, you need to drink more water. If it gets really light, again, it can have the inverse and give you a light reading. So you've got to be very careful, because it's going to come up with the same result. So be careful, make sure that you're around a nice kind of light yellow, and then you're in the perfect usual hydration. Okay guys, number 3. So here we go. Thinking darker always means better. Right, so straight out for a urinalysis strip, you can understand that there's a big problem there, that if you have a belief that the darker they get, then that means it's going to be more efficient for fat burning, it doesn't exactly work that way. There are many things that can slightly skew or change your initial readings, and this comes down to a simple fact that these are overflow ketones. Now, these overflow ketones are going to be, as I said, acetoacetate, and when you come down to understand that if you have those overflowing, they're the ones not being utilized as your main energy. They are going to be beta-hydroxybutyrate. Now, if you turn around and you understand, hey, this is getting darker, it's a good indicator that you've got an overflow because, for example, maybe you've done a lot of workout or something's, increased. It doesn't always have to directly correlate to, more efficient fat burning or anything like that at all. So you have to understand, again, certain things can affect it. So here we go. Very dark purple can mean dehydration, not better ketosis. So we've just talked about dehydration. Important, if you're dehydrated, your urine is more concentrated, which can make ketone levels look higher than they really are. So you can see here, nutritional ketosis is the optimal range here. Usually you like that. You get a lot of debate. So if you've got 4 to 16, you're looking at may indicate dehydration. But that's not all the other case. It can also be you've drunk too much water and you're overhydrated, and then it gives a bad reading, too light. So you have to understand this concept as well. So guys, number 4, testing at random times. Testing at random times. Use a consistent time such as morning or late afternoon to compare results properly. So, best time to test: morning, first urine of the day for a consistent baseline. Late afternoon helps track how your body is doing later in the day after you've actually consumed some food. So why does consistency matter? Ketone levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day. Testing at the same time gives you accurate comparable results and helps you see true trends and progress over time. So pick a time that fits your routine and stick with it every day for the best insight. So very simple there, guys. Keep it consistent. So we understand in keto, consistency is the key. That's with everything. So with this, do the same. Try it every morning, then do it around about after lunch. And then you'll understand every time I do that, you'll get an accurate reading and tell you how many ketones roughly you have and if you're sticking within ketosis. Usually as well, ketosis, you have, people like to be in the optimum range of 1.5 to 3. Okay, number 5. So, expecting strips to work forever. So as you adapt to keto, your body may waste fewer ketones in urine. So strips can show lower even when you're still burning fat. So why this happens? When you're first starting keto, your body produces more ketones than it needs and wastes the extra in urine. Once adapted, your body becomes more efficient at using ketones for energy, so less is wasted. So don't rely on strips alone. If you see any issues, focus on how you feel, your energy, and your results over time. So what you might see over time. Early keto, here we go, lots of good readings, darker results. And when you become more adapted, lighter results. So lighter doesn't mean you're out of ketosis, it usually means your body is using the ketones more efficiently. So again, a very good takeaway there, guys. You're using all of those fantastic precursors of acetone acetate to make what you need, which is your beta-hydroxybutyrate. Now, lower strip readings can be a sign of success, not failure. So this is what you have to stay here, guys. Focus on what matters. Steady energy, better focus, progress over time. So guys, that's what you have to take on board. It does vary. Now, for me, to be honest with you, I do a cyclical one over 6 weeks, and I've never really seen any big issue with actually having a decent, accurate amount. So whenever I know I've gone over my food, it does respond to my ketone strip. So again, it can be down to individuals. So guys, I hope you liked the video. Thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.